Anyway, so let me talk about two things I have to talk. Let me just talk about the trade. Okay. So, let me talk about the trade between India and China. Okay, one second, let me just take up that. So, India is one of the largest trade partners for, okay. India is one of the largest trade partners or China is one of the largest trade partners for India, but still okay. So, but still our problem is of the trade, lot of trade imbalances are there. Okay. We are not happy with the skewed trade relationship between India and China, a skewed trade relation. Okay. A skewed trade relation. See, the trade relations between India and China formally resumed in 1978. So, after the war in 1962, the trade relations formally resumed in 1978, and 6 years later, that means in 1984, both the sides agreed to have the MFN status, most favored nation. 1984, we signed the MFN status. India's trade with China, it was just $2.92 billion in the year 2000. The bilateral trade was $2.92 billion. That's all. The year 2000, the bilateral trade between India and China, just $2.92 billion. And it has reached by around 2011, it has reached around $74 billion. In 2011, it became around $74 billion, and 2016-17 it was around 70-71, and 2018-19 the bilateral trade touched around $90 billion. 18-19 it became, the trade was $90 billion, but the trade deficit was 57.4. Okay, the trade deficit. $57.4 billion. See, what is trade deficit? I mean, the total is 90 billion. Bilateral trade is 90 billion, trade deficit. That means India's export plus China's export is equal to 90 billion. Then trade deficit means India minus China is equal to minus 57. Okay. So, if you add that, you will get it. So, if you add these two equation, 2I plus C minus C, so this has become 33 billion, or India's export to China is just 16 and a half, 2I is 33, $16.5 billion. So, please remember in 18-19, India was exporting just $16.5 billion worth items to China, and China was exporting, so 90 minus 16.5, so that is $73.5 billion worth items. Okay, that is how the trade deficit is minus $57 billion. I hope those who understand basic maths, you can understand this what I am saying. So, as far as India and China is concerned, China accounted for over 5% of India's total exports. See, just 16.5, it is 5% of India's export. 16.5 is 5%. So, the total export of India, just for your information, total export of India is around $330 billion. India exports around $330 billion. Okay. And as far as India's imports are concerned, it is almost 14% from India, from China. Imports for India, 14% from China. 14% of our import, I say that 14% is around 57, sorry, how much? 73 point, how much I said? Yeah, 73.5. China, from China we are importing 73.5, that is around 14%. Anyway, so that is situation, and China is India's second largest trade partner. First, the number one trade partner for India is US, number two is China. But trade imbalance between the two countries remain, because it is highly in favor of China, and the decreasing Indian export, and mainly because India is unable to export anything to China because of the Chinese regulatory system. They are, especially from in the information technology sector, where India is finding difficulties in China, IT sector, meat and pharmaceutical sector, meat export, pharmaceutical sector, meat and pharmaceutical sector, and where India could have been doing well, but unfortunately we are not able to do. And India, but another problem is, so this is the hurdles in China, the non-tariff barriers in China, this is called non-tariff barriers in China, non-tariff barriers in China. And also the another issue is, as far as the otherwise India, whatever we are exporting mainly the raw material to China. India's exports are predominantly the raw material to China, whereas India is importing the finished goods from China. See, our complaint, the main complaint is this: we are feeding to their, like the colonial era, British India used to export raw materials to Britain, and in return Britain used to export back the finished goods to India. The same thing is happening right now, and we are importing finished goods. Okay, we are importing many, like finished goods like toys, consumer electronics, firecrackers, even in Holi and all, even the color comes from China, Chinese color comes. The Holi, the firecrackers, sorry, in the Diwali, all firecrackers and everything comes from China. So toys, the entire toy market has been captured. So we have failed miserably in our even the consumer goods item. And even glasses, ceramics, bathroom fittings, everything is very easy to come, and it is very cheap from China. Glasses, ceramics and bathroom fitting, etc. And also smartphones, electrical appliances, power plant inputs, so many areas India has become dependent on that. Okay. So there is a serious issue, and we are really stuck. And also China has heavily invested in this startups. Most of the startups in India, Chinese funds are there in the startup industry. In the startup industry, Chinese investment is very heavily present, and we will not be able to ignore that easily. And if you look at some of the items, one second. If you look at some of the items like telephones and communication apparatus, some of the items where India is, see, it is not that only finished goods are there, many intermediary goods are also, we are importing from China in a big way, like telephone and in a communication apparatus. From China we are 73% of our imports are from China. Semiconductors 82%, just see, semiconductor for electronic industry 82% from China. So we are almost entirely dependent. See, these are not finished goods, these are intermediary goods. Then automatic data processing machines, including computer, automatic data processing machines, including computer, 64% of the imports are coming from China. Even these heterocyclic compounds, the raw material for several important drugs, including anti-malarial drugs, which is called the heterocyclic compounds. Please understand, these are not finished goods I am talking. Heterocyclic compounds. For these are intermediary drug goods, or for the drugs 66%, antibiotics 81%. All the antibiotics India import 83% or 81% comes from China. So, please understand, if you try to stop Chinese goods from getting imported, it is not that we are only hurting the end consumers, even the intermediary goods like this in antibiotics, the heterocyclic compounds, then even automatic data processing machines, semiconductor devices, monitors and projectors 54%, computer monitor, projector, okay, computer monitor, projector, etc., computer monitor, projectors 54% are from China. So, what I am trying to say is that the some of the key sectors in the Indian economy are critically dependent on China. So, we cannot be electrical equipment, pharmaceutical industry. So, we cannot ignore it outrightly, even though it is very easy to say that we should ban Chinese products, or we should not be consuming Chinese products. It is very easy to say, but it will be very difficult for even our industry to survive if you are banning the Chinese goods. And end products we can always say, China go back and all, we can stand in the road and say, but it will also destroy our economy. So, there is no immediate answers to all these problems. That is what we should understand. The it can be a real problem, and so although India's exports to China has increased a bit recently. It was earlier $7-8 billion only. It has reached $16.5 billion recently. It was mainly because of some of the exports of raw material, especially the petroleum products, intermediary petroleum product export from India, especially by the Reliance. The Jamnagar plant is exporting some of the petroleum products and the intermediary products to China. That is how our export to China has actually increased recently. And also, India is trying to talk about the Make in India project and Atmanirbhar Bharat and all. It is a long term project. I do not think you can do it immediately. It takes a lot of time. If you try to say the Chinese product should not be imported, the China will route it through other countries and we will get it. So, China may send the product to Malaysia, and Malaysia it will be branded as made in Malaysia and it will reach to India. Only thing is that it will increase the cost, because first it has to go to Malaysia, from Malaysia it has to export to India. So, this incentivizing the Make in India project and all, we have a series of missed opportunities. We have not created enough facilities. So, it is not that easy. It is not that easy to ban the Chinese products and all immediately. There is trade deficit, but another point we should understand here is, rather than becoming sentimental about this, where are we importing? We are importing predominantly for intermediary products. As I said, there are finished goods like toys, firecrackers, Diwali, what you call holy color and all, but many of these pharmaceutical products. So, the way we were trying to start that in Himachal Pradesh, I was talking in one of the current affairs discussion, we are starting a pharmaceutical park, drug park. So, like this, we should identify the areas where we can improve our alternate manufacturing capacity. We have to strengthen our infrastructure, we have to strengthen our manufacturing sector, we have to strengthen our education, we have to strengthen our skill. Skill cannot be implanted after you become 25 and 30 years of age. Skill development should start from the school, meaning first till 10th standard we should teach every child properly. Good schooling should be given to them. Then after 10th we should talk about skills. Send them to various skill development programs after 10th, not before 10th. We cannot start teaching skill from 5th standard and 4th standard. We should not be doing it. First, let them learn basic science, basic history, basic geography, basic languages. So, our education, our skill, our manufacturing sector, our infrastructure, our health sector. See, we have to develop, all round development of India should be there. Then only we can stand up against China and all. Then, then we should identify our strengths. We should try to, give maximum facility in our strength, where all we can do our, production in a very productive way, in an effective way. Harness our strength. Then we can fight. It's not that we have to substitute, import each and every item from China. If you are getting something very cheap from China, use it. And, use that product for, use that cheaper product for developing something else. See, export or import substitution should not be our aim. Please understand. You should not be always thinking about import substitution. See, import substitution is an old strategy. It is a socialistic strategy. You substitute everything. So, if I am importing something for 10 rupees, substitute that import even if it is costing inside India 20 rupees. No, that is not the concept. If something is quite cheap in some areas in China, you get it and use it and strengthen. You work on your strength and try to export something back to China where we have our strength. But unfortunately, no such policy or other things are not working in that direction from our side. We are many a times, our reaction is knee-jerk reaction, reactive decision making, not proactive decision making. But one common thing, one fundamental thing about all these things is we should work on our infrastructure, we should work on our education, our skill, our health. Basic things are same. Ensure equality, ensure all those basic aspects are very crucial if you have to fight against any country for that matter. Then if infrastructure is there, we can identify the strengths where all we can actually utilize our strength to mass produce certain things which should be the cheapest in the world, which can sell everywhere in the world, and then get some of the products from China which are cheapest there. We should have the enough strength to buy those things. See, our problem is Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, confused. We should make, but we should be investing in our strengths, not in a weak area where if the raw material itself is not there. Don't try to make that in India unnecessarily, and that is what I said. Export substitution or import substitution should not be our goal when we are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat. And please remember, Atmanirbhar Bharat cannot be by domestic, not by domestic consumption. I said it many times in various discussions. See, Atmanirbhar Bharat is by creating enough avenue, enough infrastructure whereby we can increase our export. And we are definitely not looking at import substitution. We should be finding ways and means to export more, so that we should have a surplus. Current account surplus should be through increasing export, not by collapsing the import. Now, the chief economic advisor Subramaniam Saab recently has said that in 2020-21 we may have a current account surplus. We will be seeing in the economics that why we are going to have a current account surplus, because our import has collapsed. No import, there is no demand in the country, import has failed. Why? Because there is no domestic demand, economy has collapsed, nobody wants to import anything. So, our import is less, export is slightly more, so we have some surplus. That is not what we want to see. We want to see import, whatever we want to import, you import, we should export more than, so there should be import also should grow, export should grow more than import, so that there is a surplus. That is what we wanted. Anyway, so this is the issue with the trade, the huge trade deficit. And it is not bad always if you are able to get something very cheap from China, especially the intermediary products, and using that product, if you can make a finished good and if you can sell it, that is always better. So, that is what we are looking. So, anyway, a couple of questions, let me just pick. I do not know, I mean, whether you understood my argument point. What can be done to improve India-China relation? Right now, you please wait. Let us see. Total export also includes services. See, there are two things in that. Okay. So, there can be current account deficit, capital account deficit, then goods and service export. So, we are talking about many things. Now, here this export is not including service, whatever I said, this $90 billion, it is not including services. Okay. So, if you are talking about current account, then it includes the services also. According to you, who is a better prime minister? See, I do not want to compare and all, see, there is no point in talking about that. We as an academicians, we will be always looking at the problems, the issues.